And your aspiration is to have that inspiration in your life. Again, remember that the real door to Vajra Yogini is your inner practice. So focusing on your motivation, mix it with the wisdom understanding reality, and with the desire to be of great benefit, and being happy, which is bliss. I'm certain we all have the general feeling that, I would like to have a deeper spiritual practice, some sort of like, let's say, deeper fulfillment, deeper meaning. But so you check up your feelings, but then what I'd like you to do, because there's the 4 rules of karma. Karma is definite, means is that if you're positive, you'll create good karma. If you're negative, you'll create causes for suffering. Then the karma expands. If you don't do it, you don't get it. If you don't do something, you don't expect that result. And karma will ripen unless you do something to purify it, for example, with a practice. So particularly in regards to if you don't do it, you don't get it. So, we all have the prayers of working for the benefit of sentient beings. But I want you to come back to first sort of start off with, again, remember, it's an invocation. So bring to mind somebody that you actually love in a good way. So you bring them to mind and you will invoke love. That's the way it works. It's not like you think love. No, you bring to mind somebody and then you have a feeling. So first thing you do is I would like you to do is to sort of do that, to bring to mind someone you love in a very good way. So especially if it's a child, that's really good because they're more innocent. But it can also be an adult, even that can be a pet. There's no problem with that whatsoever. In Buddhism, all sentient beings have Buddha nature. And so you can, and sometimes pets are just wonderful because all they do is love us. So you bring to mind whether it's a person or whether it's a pet, and then feel your love. And again, you do that by invoking that person. You don't sort of say, where's my love? No, bring to mind someone you love. And then say, I'm here, I'm attending this for them. And a whole different chemistry comes in your body. If you check up, you can feel it. It's a different feeling. It's not about me and what I want. It's like, whoa, I'm doing this for them. And it's a very nice feeling. That's the source, the cause, the sort of spark of initially having bodhichitta. Okay, and then expand that. As you expand, it tends to be the feeling goes down just because we're getting more grand. If you think of the people of Cardiff, sure, you might sort of wish them well, but you don't have much love. So just to be realistic, but if you can touch first, you're really like, you have a very good heart, like, wow, that person, I'd like to offer a more enlightened relationship to that person. Especially you first touch the love you have for them, and then you shift it over to want to offer that, and then just sort of then expand and try to hold the feeling as much as you can for everybody. May all sentient beings, animals, insects, all sentient beings, spirits, or whatever, may I help them. The Dalai Lama says, he always says, like he says, I always try to see somebody as my friend when I meet them. And it is very touching. I've gone to see His Holiness, over many years. And he watches, oh, my old friend. And it's like, yes, I love you. Makes you feel so good. Which is very touching. And he's very sincere in his feelings. So that's something that we want to create. And remember that things are all interdependent. And so when you do have a very good feeling in your heart, and with intelligence, always with intelligence, then you'll have a lot of friends, a lot of people that support you. And that can be very beneficial in the larger spectrum of our Dharma practice. So anyway, please do reflect a little bit on your motive. Now, part of this, I could have been that I gave first the Heruka initiation, the 5 deities of the Heruka would be a tradition. But in this case, for most of us, we're lay people. And so therefore we don't have a really extensive practice that we can do and such. And so Yamantaka is very beneficial as an initial practice because it helps remove interferences. I have posted on an unlisted YouTube channel, both the preliminary day and the main day of the initiation of Yamantaka, so you can watch it because there are teachings there, things to think about. But that's good for us because we're lay people. We're not like ordained with lots of time to practice. We have regular jobs, so it is good to practice first Yamantaka to sort of clean away some of the delusions, some of the sort of things we have, and also call on it when we need it. I mean, life's not always going to be perfect. We're in samsara. So when you do need the fortitude or the stability, you can call on Yamantaka to help you. I mean, and it's actually you, but it's your faith, the fact that you have the initiation, that you've done some practice, maybe you did the retreat, then you have something you can really call on. Or again, you can invoke your understanding, the capacity. When you do deity yoga, the first thing you actually do is you focus on what's called the identity. I know it's often called divine pride, but I don't know, maybe in the Tibetan language, it's a little different, but, for example, let's say I have a very nice Vajra bell, I'm proud of these, it's an external object. And I think the emotion pride often is sort of, you reflect off of something and then you feel proud, like, maybe I have a good career or maybe whatever it might be. Whereas self-identity it's like, this is me. And I think it has a more proper connection. So you identify with being Yamantaka. You don't sort of have it as an object that you're proud of. You identify, so divine identification. And so if you do retreats or if you do regular practice, you're able to gain more and more of that. And that is the great stability. Things are impermanent. Things will always change. Don't get caught up with just the trivialities of some small activity. You have a greater meaning in your life. Context is huge. And what context is like, what's the meaning of my life? And so, and we have things to do, so that's important. But the deeper meaning of my life is, may I be a bodhisattva? May I make the world a little of a better place? It's a very nice thing. And at the end of your life, whenever it should happen, then you can sort of say, hey, I did okay. With my possessions, I didn't give it all away, but I was generous. I shared when I had the opportunity. Or with my friendships, it's not what I got from them, it's what I offered them. My time, my energy, maybe some help financially or something, whatever might have necessary. So I shared. So with my relationships, I feel good about them. It's no fun to die, but if you look at the people and you say, hey, I love these people and I did the best I could, that feels good. And actually nowadays with so many people getting divorced and such like that, we're not the Buddha, we're aspiring bodhisattvas, but the thing is, if you can look at your relationship, say, well, I did the best I could. I offered the best I could in my relationship. So even if the relationship fails, like with a divorce, okay, we're in samsara. I and other people have delusions, but we do the best we can. So again, I mean, your clarity, the context of your life. I really like the idea of Buddha Shakyamuni, and especially the 3 great aeons that he practiced. Why? Because it means that, in each I'll tell the story, sort of, we'll go right back to the beginning. And there's different stories of how Buddha first generated bodhichitta. But it said first, like, he was a little boy running around in in the continent of India, you know, when he was in the forest, running up and down the trails and things, maybe he was 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, you know, and then it was Buddha's sound of the drum came walking down the pathway in the jungle, you know, very peaceful and like this and that. Anyway, and so, you know, the little boy saw him, and I mean, he was 5 years old, you know, so he's quite innocent, but he just saw the beauty of this man, like, wow, you know, and in without any sort of things, he just said, wow, I'd like to be like that. And you could say, you know, in his soul or in his Buddha nature, whatever you want to use, came this light of actually seeing a Buddha in this, the magnificent glory of that Buddha, but the, you know, with all the quality, with all the depth. And then the little boy, he ran over and helped the Buddha across a puddle, and then went back to the village, and they all got teachings in the village, you know. But that spark, that was in sort of in the deep depths of his heart. Then in that lifetime, he tried to be a bodhisattva. Now, it's not like maybe he had a lot of teachings, but he had this thing like, wow, I can be beautiful like that. And so that the thing, then he dies, but then that spark, because it's in his Buddha nature, it's in that continuity of his consciousness, goes to the next rebirth. And then basically he's sort of got this context, like, I like to be a better person, you know. And again, you could say that that light of having seen Buddha's sound of the drum is there. And again, then he is a bodhisattva, maybe not even getting teachings, but just being a better and better person. And then again, he dies, and then again, like that. So millions of rebirths. And part of this, I think, is really important. It's not like, you know, when you look at a Buddha, that they look at you and they judge you and say, ooh, you've got some pretty heavy karma there, baby, you know. they don't do that. Like, the way I think of it is that there's this omniscient mind and access to millions of rebirths. You know, maybe it's a mythology, but it's a nice one. I like it. So millions of rebirths. And so when the Buddha looks at me, he says, oh, I was like that, you know, 3 million years ago, or whatever, you know, and whatever my previous rebirth, and he empathizes. It's not like, oh yeah, look at you. No, it's like, hey, I was there one day, you know. And so you could say his empathy, and then, or he or she, because it could be a female Buddha, goes to you and touches you. And it's not judgmental. It's not sort of thing. It's rather, hey, I understand you. I understand your feelings and emotions. You know, and so when you bring the mind to the Buddha, there's not sort of like, you know, some sort of thing. It's rather complete empathizing and appreciation, and then the desire for you to be better. And so when I think, you know, the Buddha, if you take all, you know, 3 countless aeons of rebirths, I mean, being married, getting divorced, having cancer, being depressed, I mean, all the different possibilities, they were there for sure. You know, I mean, you got 3 countless aeons worth of rebirths, and being an animal, and then being, you know, all sorts of things. I mean, we have the Jagata tales, don't we? So the thing is that way, then you put this much greater context to the Buddha, and then to bodhicitta. Now take that and apply it to yourself. Hey, you got this rebirth, you know, you're in England, you're in America, you're in Europe, or whatever you are, you know. But the thing is that, you know, can I bring some bodhicitta into this rebirth? So you get this better context. It's not like this rebirth and I love you and now you don't love me, and you're suing me for all the money because we're married, you know, all that sort of stuff. It's like, oh, come on, that's just sort of trivial stuff. It's not important. It's like, who am I in this and ongoing rebirths? My context is bigger. So in attending this initiation, we're just talking about motive, but have a bigger context to your life. And then the little things that go wrong won't bother you so much. You know, so what if you get cancer? You must have some cause for it. Things have continuity, they're not irrelevant. So, okay, so that's it. So may I work constructively with my cancer and the fact I'm dying, or, you know, or maybe I've got a depression, maybe I've got I've got some hormonal imbalance or something. Okay, well, hey, this rebirth, I'm gonna work on it, you know, like to sort of deal with that, because it's the greater context. I'm a, you know, multiple rebirth bodhisattva. It's a really nice way to frame yourself, you know, to put yourself in context. And then it works a lot easier in your life. Okay, now for those of you online, those of you in this room, I mean, guaranteed you have tantric practice in previous rebirths. You wouldn't be here. So that's really good. That's a good continuity. But the thing is, remember, we are bodhisattvas practicing tantra. We're not just looking for power and capacities or something. You know, we're looking to increase our ability as a bodhisattva. You know, like we said with the Yamantaka initiation, the general practice of Buddhism is wonderful. In fact, it's so important. It's like a massage that helps you feel much better about your life. But Tantra is like acupuncture. It goes right to the key nerves and really, you know, helps you heal faster. So look at your Tantric practice in that way. Okay, so we're in front of Vajra Yogini. We'll discuss that. We'll talk about that. But first, we're going to take refuge, and then we'll offer the mandala. Again, well, I often do refuge. You know, most of my prayers are memorized in Tibetan, but I'll do one for. So I'm going to say refuge in my way, just in your own mind. Please do your refuge. The options are Buddha Dharma Sangha. I go for refuge to the Buddha Dharma Sangha from now until enlightenment. I'll work for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all beings be happy. I go for refuge to the Buddha Dharma Sangha from now until enlightenment. I'll work for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all beings be happy. I go for refuge to the Buddha Dharma Sangha from now until enlightenment. I'll work for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all beings be happy. Please offer the mandala.
Before the feet of the Guru, non given from the main deity, I present this offering to the Buddha fields as a gift to request my entry into the mandala of the sublime Vajra Yogini. Om Vajra Yogini Om. Here is the mighty and powerful golden base. Om Vajra Yogini Om. In the center of the Iron Mountain stands Meru, king of all mountains. To the four directions and sub-directions are the four continents and subcontinents. In the east is the treasure mountain, in the south is the wish-granting tree, in the west the wish-granting cow, in the north the unplowed harvests. Here is the precious wheel, here is the precious jewel, here is the precious consort, here is the precious minister, here is the precious elephant, here is the precious and best of horses, here is the precious general, and here is the great treasure house. Here is the goddess of play, here is the goddess of garlands, here is the goddess of song, here is the goddess of dance, here is the goddess of perfume, here is the goddess of flowers, here is the goddess of incense, and here the goddess of light. Here is the sun, and here is the moon, here is the umbrella of all that is precious, and here is the banner of victories in all directions. Here is the center of all possessions precious to gods and men. This magnificent collection, lacking in nothing, I offer to the Buddha fields as a gift to request to you, O glorious, holy, kind Gurus and lineage Gurus, to be allowed to enter into the mandala of the sublime Vajra Yogini.
In your compassion,
I request that you accept offering for the sake of all beings, and after accepting, I request as well, through your great compassion, you send forth waves of inspiring strength to all sentient beings, including myself. By directing to the fields of Buddhas this offering of a mandala, built on a base resplendent with flowers, saffron water, and incense, adorned with Mount Meru and the four continents, the sun and moon, may all sentient beings be led to these fields. Send forth to me waves of inspiring strength, so that after training on the common paths of becoming a proper vessel, I might easily enter into the holy vehicle for those of good fortune, the Vajra vehicle, which is to sublime all holy vehicles. Om Idam Guru Ramantala.
Okay, so to make sure that there's no interferences for really receiving the initiation, I'll offer what's called a cake door, or remover of interferences. Remember that you're going to be, for example, for the people physically attending here, obviously there's no interferences because nobody has a broken leg or a broken arm or anything, so they got here. which is a good sign. But there can also be what's called lechak, karma coming from a previous rebirth. And when we start to aspire to be a better person, sometimes these things come up to sort of get in the way. So this is an offering to remove those, to send them away. So when I do this, you should feel that whatever problems you might have, they get pulled in front of me. I then make an offering to them. I say, please be kind, go away. I'll send them away. And then I'll put a Vajra floor, Vajra wall, Vajra ceiling, Vajra roof around you. And those of you online also, you should feel that. You know, the Buddha's omniscient mind is everywhere. And so I'm the preceptor for that mind. So I will request that happens. Oh, Rangi Duga Hongyo, Sarah Chalk, you and Emma Jing Chalk, Lay Chalky Tan, Jay, Tungin Angar Chin, Tom. Om Sarva Bisha Namo Sarvatata Gata Byo Vishu Mugate Byo Sarva Daka Mugate Spirana Prikanaga Rida Idam Kamlaye Soha. Om Sarva Sarva Vikana Namo Sarva Tata Gata Byo Vishu Mugate Byo Sarva Daka Mugate Spirana Prina Gagana Samgrana Idam Balentaye Soha. Om Sarva Vikana Saramo Sarva Tathagata Vivigana Mugate Spri Sarva Tam Gamugate Spirana Brimugagana Yidam Tanata Yidam Paye Soha. Om Samani Samani. By the strength of the truth of the holy teachers, by that of the noble root lineage gurus, by the truth of the deities of the hosts of the mandalas, by the truth of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, by the truth of the hearers and the solitary readers, by the Dharma protectors and the guardians, and especially by the truth of the Shri, the glorious Vajra Yogini, together with the deities of the mandala, may all negative spirits, interferences that would hinder this this event be satiated and by this ritual cake and return to their own abodes. All harmful ones, if you do not follow this instruction, you'll be destroyed. Oh, somebody. Rangi Duga Hongi, Osiro to Drowa, Dorje, Sashi, Losha Drowa, Dorje, Cure, Ravi Dorje, Lare, Anchava, Timbar, Cure, Sabani, Sama, Home, Bagriana, Griana, Home, Bagriana, Bayagriana, Bayo, Home, Bayana, Yakavadra, Home, Pay. So feel that you're inside of a Vajra mandala, that no interferences can come in during the receiving of this initiation. Okay. Now there's not there in a this is just what's called a blessing, in the sense that when the main initiation, there's commentary, for example, about dreams and such like that. If you have good attitude, then it should be sometimes you have some dreams. Initiations are quite special in the sense they don't happen all the time. And so like you have this great opportunity to generate some really good feelings, really special feelings, especially the feeling of bodhichitta. And as I said, it puts your whole life into context. So what if you have this difficult person in your life, or your bodhicitta practice, your bodhisattva? Doesn't mean you have to go and live with them all the time or something, but it just means is that you have a context about what you're doing with your rebirth. So practicing Tantra is incredible. The big thing, I think personally, that every time you take an initiation, you get a chance to renew your bodhisattva and tantric vows. Irrespective of what deity you practice, all of those deities for Buddhism have bodhisattva and tantric vows. So therefore, it's a great opportunity to renew your vows. In this case, though, you're practicing a very special Tantra. It's the Tantra of Vajra Yogini. Now, it's important to be quite inspired by that. For example, in like the Yamantaka Tantra has no body mandala. You know, it has various blessings of the organs. It has the manjushri in your heart, which is your astral body, you know, things like that. If you practice well, you'll get lots of benefits. In fact, a great many benefits. If you move to the Heruka Tantra is very developed. It's got 64 deities or 62 deities, depends on your lineage. Then, you know, they're in your eye, your ear, your nose, your body, and it's the end of the nerve channels of your body. And such, so it's very developed, in fact, very profound. But what's very unique with Vajra Yogini is you take all of those and you bring them back to the heart. I mean, it's so interesting how profound the Tantra is, in the sense that, for example, when you have a semen and ovum come together, and then the third component is your consciousness enters into that semen and ovum. First, it's sort of just the growth, but at the 6th week mark, the heart starts beating for that little fetus. Okay, that's you way back when. And there's sort of the general form, but then from there arises then the form, the arms, the legs, the head, the ears, the nose, all the fingers, everything like that. But that it comes from you could say the source of all that is your heart chakra, the heart beating, and then all these things manifest. Okay, so in the Heruka Tantra, the large one, you're putting all the deities at the end of these nerves, at the forehead, the eye, the ear, etc. Whereas in Vajra Yogini, you come back to the root, the place they all came from, which is the moment when you were conceived, and then you started to grow. And you have to think about it like we're talking about sort of like the genetics of your DNA. And when you do these practices of Tantra, you sort of are accessing that level of your being, which will then manifest. And so you're coming back to the source of that. And then, of course, all of the visualizations and meditations you do and such, very profound. So really, Vajra Yogini isn't just some sort of like imaginary thing. It actually has a profound effect on your body and your nervous system and such like that. You'll understand that if you take the teachings over the next 7 days and such like that. So anyway, Vajra Yogini, incredible Tantra. You're on the verge of entering into that mandala. It is just a blessing because the main initiation, transforming your 5 aggregates, was with the Yamantaka practice. So at this particular point, you're just getting a sort of a special blessing, a unique one. And in many ways, for example, in the praise of saying, may I behold the beautiful face of Vajra Yogini, it says in there, you can appear as a wrathful, it says cannibal, or you can appear as a beautiful maiden. All that relates to how well you're connected to your feelings, how well you're connected to your wisdom. You know, so if you're a very coarse person with very coarse delusions, then it said that the Dakinis will appear very coarse and wrathful, very difficult. You know, for example, if you take Naropa, when he first was he was the abbot of a monastery. He was a great practitioner. He had incredible wisdom, you know. He was this incredible being, you know. So one day he went up on a mountain or up on a hill beside the monastery, and he was doing his prayers. And this old woman with, like I said, 37 signs of ugliness came up. You know, she was hobbling along. She had only one tooth. Her eyes were all bloodshot. You know, I mean, just all sorts of signs of ugliness. You know, and she came up and she said, you know, hey boy, what you doing? You know, and he sort of says, I'm reading the Prajnaparamita, you know, like this. He goes, oh, very good, you know, and she danced a little bit, you know, said, that's so good, you know, I'm so happy, sunny boy, you know, anyway. And then she said, she paused, you know, because she was out of breath, you know, she had so many illnesses and things like that. So she says, now tell me, sunny boy, do you understand it? And in his arrogance, he said, yes. And then she had an epileptic fit in front of him. She threw her cane down and lying on the ground, spasming and frothing out of the mouth, and of course freaked him completely out. You know, I mean, like, what do I do with this old woman? You know, if I grab her too tightly, I'll break all her bones. You know? So anyway, so he sort of calmed her down, you know, and she came sort of got thing. And then finally he said, like, please tell me, I mean, you were so happy when I said I was reading the perfection of wisdom. You know, and now you just had an epileptic fit when I said I understood. And then she said, well, yeah, that's right. You know, you should look for my brother. You know, my brother is a Tilopa. And she turned into a rainbow, disappeared, said he fainted and stuff. but that's sort of like us. You know, maybe the best we could expect is some, you know,
What are you saying here? As the door was unlocked, I had to go around looking for
you
you.
know, who knows? But the point is that
Huh?
I'm sort of
if we're
confused.
not
What,
very much in
what
touch
trouble
with
did I
our
cause?
soul, with the deep nature of
I had
our
to get
being,
looking for you. I had to get out looking for you. You were in the front. The front door was on.
if we're not very much in touch with the deep nature of our being, then yeah, the dakinis appear in very ugly forms because we're ugly. When we do start to have bodhicitta, may all sentient beings have happiness, then the dakinis become more beautiful. You know, and then when you have an understanding of reality, you know, not like, you know, intellectually at first, but then when you really have the flavor, the taste of reality, you know, then the dakinis become even more beautiful. And then finally, they might even manifest. So you're at the verge of that. It's an incredibly powerful tantra, incredibly special. So you should be really quite excited. It's got all sorts of incredible practitioners behind it. So anyway, you're at the verge, you're at the edge of the mandala. So with that thought in mind then, please repeat after me. You take a flower in your hand because it's your bodhicitta. Remember, the real doorway to all of the bodhisattva tantric attainments are your bodhicitta and your wisdom. And it's not an intellectual wisdom, it's like, I am interdependent. You know, just to start off with, let's get the right sort of context for things. You know, you're sitting there, whether you're on the computer at home, you know, watching your TV, or whether you're sitting in this room with me, you know, you think, oh, I'm independent. I can get up and go to the bathroom. I can go do this and I can do that. But no, I'm sorry. You are immersed in the atmosphere. You know, you are literally swimming through it. I mean, if you move your arms, they continuously are touching something, and it's the atmosphere. So you are immersed, like if you're at the bottom of a huge tank of water, you know. So start to get that, okay, I'm immersed. Not only that, with each breath you take, you're penetrated. Literally every cell of your body is participating with that atmosphere around you. Okay, so you are immersed and penetrated. So then you allow yourself to appreciate that. So suddenly it's not like me here, independent. No. Your wisdom says, no, I'm immersed, supported. And you can expand that. I mean, for example, intellectually, you are completely interdependent. You didn't pop out of your mom's womb speaking English or French or Italian or something, did you? You know, you had to be sort of talked to continuously and such, and slowly you learned that language, you know, and then you went to school, so you had to get educated and stuff. You learned better grammar, you learned sentence structure, you learned lots of interesting things. So again, you were interdependent. You were interdependent with mother, father. You were interdependent with language. You were interdependent going to school. Then you can move over to your emotional life. It's not like you just sort of fall in love walking down the sidewalk. You know, you have somebody that you meet and you go, whoa, you're so attractive to me, you know, and so then you fall in love. You need interdependence. And then you take the really special feelings like joy. If you check out joy, joy is in relationship to something. You know, as a person that you love, or maybe some situation, maybe you get a sort of a special pat on the back for some aspect of your life, you know, you feel joy. It's because you're interdependent. So even the most beautiful feelings that you have, love or joy, you know, they're interdependent. You're not independently existent. And then finally, your body. I mean, your body continually needs to be immersed in the atmosphere and penetrated by the atmosphere. Then it needs the food and all the sorts of support, the water, the sunshine. So in that, so just sort of settle back into, I am completely an interdependent phenomena down to the cells, you say the atoms and nucleus of my body, my being. So, okay, with that appreciation, then say, because I am interdependent, may I be of benefit. There's your bodhicitta, there's your wisdom, and then there's your bodhicitta. It's like that stick of incense that's here burning just below me. You know, it doesn't make any particular decision it's going to go to the east, the west, the north, or the south. But wherever it goes, it makes things better, it makes things more fragrant. It's the nature of the incense as it burns. It makes things more fragrant. So to apply that to yourself, I am interdependent with the world around me. I'm interdependent with this part of Cardiff that I'm in right now. Well, may I be like that stick of incense. It makes things more beautiful. You know, I appreciate I'm interdependent. There's my wisdom. And may I be of benefit. There's my compassion. So Vajra Yogini is in front of you. I've invoked her on the altar. Also, I've generated the lineage that I received. I received this practice 49 years ago, actually almost 50 years ago now, from Trichung Rinpoche in Sarnath. And something, you know, you guys are so lucky. When I did it, I sat for 7 days in a row, you know, at the edge of the, you know, actually it was sort of fun. I'll tell you the story, okay? Relax, okay? We're working towards enlightenment, okay? So, you know, I went down to actually, remember I told you the story about the guy that got the Kundalini in Kopan? Okay, well, that was it. So he ran away and went crazy, but I went down to Sarnath to go and receive the transmission of the Vajra Yogini Tantra. And it was from Trichung Rinpoche, one of the tutors of the Dalai Lama. Anyway, so I arrived a teeny bit late for where all the seats were taken. So there was like the door, and so way up, you know, there's a door of the monastery in Sarnath, and up at the front was Trichung Rinpoche right in the middle, and it was completely full. But there was the stairs, and nobody was on the stairs. So I went and found a bunch of bricks, stacked them up, put a piece of wood in it, sat on the stairs, and I got a direct vision of Trichung Rinpoche. It was great, you know. So that was my seat. But anyway, then I sat there for, well, 7 days and took the initiation. I didn't know what the heck he was saying. All I knew was I was getting Heruka Vajra Yogini practice, you know. So, you know, I just sort of made myself totally receptive and things like that. And of course, after having received the initiation, and luckily I could read Tibetan, I then had to start doing the long sadhana for the rest of my life. You know, so that's, I mean, that's the big one, not the little guy, you know, the big one. You know, man, I was a monk, so I had that, you know, I had that environment. But then so I did that. And of course, I could say it took several years before I started getting teachings on it. You know, so here you are, whether you're at home or whether you're sitting here, you're getting it in English, you know, and I have almost 50 years of practice. And there's other great people out there. For example, I mean, Paula, she's an incredible practitioner. She's done so many more retreats than I have, you know, great person. And Rob Priest, he's a very good practitioner. He's got a particular view, which actually I like his view quite a bit because it's a little bit more psychological. So, I mean, there are some really good practitioners out there. So the thing is that you're so lucky, because you don't need to worry about like sitting in a room for a week with a bunch of Tibetans that have fleas and lice and such like that. Not understanding a word, but just you can see on faith, you know. But hey, it worked, you know, it's good, it's excellent. And as time passed, I mean, we had to go and put our time in, we had to learn the language, we had to then study and things like that. You know, we finally got it. So now there is something very real coming from, you know, Tibet to the Westerners, and then finally to you. And the lineage here is really good because it's not like I got it from way back when. I mean, I got it from Trichung Rinpoche, who was, you know, the Dalai Lama's private tutor. He was the holder of the Heruka lineage. And I'm not saying I'm special, but I was lucky. I was there at the beginning. So anyway, it's like you've got a very good lineage. You've got practitioners. I've done the Vajra Yogini retreats multiple times. I've done all the proper rituals and everything to be able to do the initiation. Other people, for example, Rob Priest or Paula, they also have many qualifications. So there are great yogi and yoginis out there. So be happy. It's not like you're going to be given an initiation and everything disappears. You've got books to read and stuff. I mean, when I took all this, there was no books. It was all in Tibetan. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But it seems to be good. Anyway, okay, so with that thought in mind, you're in front of the mandala. Please take your flower in your hand. Close your eyes a little bit and feel that Vajra Yogini is in front of you. She's been invoked on the altar. She's also with me as a preceptor. Remember, you're doing this for more than yourself. Touch your feeling of love for somebody and say, I'm there for them and all sentient beings. Please repeat after me. I bow down to the lotus feet of the Vajra holder.
I bow down to the lotus feet of the Vajra holder.
O Guru,
O Guru,
whose exalted body is like a jewel,
whose exalted body is like a jewel,
through whose kindness,
through whose kindness,
the state of great bliss
the state of great bliss
will be attained in a lifetime.
will be attained in a lifetime.
You,
You,
whose exalted body
whose exalted body
is the nature of all the Buddhas,
is the nature of all the Buddhas,
to the teacher,
to the teacher,
I go for refuge.
I go for refuge.
Glorious Vajra Yogini,
Glorious Vajra Yogini,
Queen of the Dakinis,
Queen of the Dakinis,
you possess the five wisdoms
you possess the five wisdoms,
and have gained the three bodies,
and gain the three bodies,
the protector of migrating beings.
protector of migrating beings.
I prostrate.
I prostrate.
Glorious Vajra Yogini,
Glorious Vajra Yogini,
please grant me your blessings.
please grant me your blessings.
Glorious Vajra Yogini,
Glorious Vajra Yogini,
please grant me your blessings.
please grant me your blessings.
Okay, so you all need a blindfold. Please get your blindfold. Those online, if you have a blindfold, please put it on. If you don't feel that you've got a blindfold. Om Chatsu Banda Varamala Inaya. Okay, take your flower in your hand. Akam Vira Hum. Feel you have a flower to offer to Vajra Yogini. And I'm not in a rush to give this initiation, so don't sort of get all anxious. You have to think about, I have an enlightened lady in front of me right now. Maybe I can't perceive her. Naropa could, but I have an enlightened lady in front of me. Unbelievable wisdom. Can perceive to the depths of my soul, and I would love her to bless me. So feel that in Vajra Yogini, both on the mandala and with the preceptor, sends out many wrathful dakinis to purify all and remove all interferences. Om Ganda Roy Hom Pe, Om Ganda Roy Hom Pe, Om Ganda Roy Hom Pe. Om Sopawashudo Sarva Dharma Sopawashudo Hum. Okay, feel that a little dakini, a little girl, pops up from Vajra Yogini. She comes down and she grabs your left hand again. So allow your just go into your imagination. You can feel you're in an incredibly blissful palace. In the center of that is Vajra Yogini, and a little dakini came out and grabbed your left hand. And she says to you, just listen, she says, child, who are you and what do you like? And then you say, I'm a fortunate one.
I'm a fortunate one.
And I like great bliss.
And I like great bliss.
And the little girl, she says, child, what will you do with it? And you say, I have the pledge of supreme Buddhahood.
The pledge of supreme Buddhahood.
Okay, now she's still holding your hand. So feel in your heart, and okay, your body is clear light. So you just be like a normal human form, clear light. In the level of your heart, in the center of your chest, which is made of light energy, appears a moon cushion. And the light of the moon is very soft. It's actually full moon day today. So if the clouds break up wherever you live, and you step out and you stand in the moonlight, it's cool on your flesh. It doesn't burn you like the sun would. So that's like compassion. Compassion is cool and soft. So that's the moon cushion in your heart. It's cool and soft to all that goes on inside of you and for all sentient beings. That's your relative bodhichitta. And then you take one breath, you feel your chest expand, and you appreciate, I'm immersed in the atmosphere, I'm penetrated by the atmosphere, I'm completely empty of any independent self-existence. I am completely interdependent. And that becomes a white Vajra on top of the white moon. That's your wisdom understanding reality, the Vajra. And the moon. Om Sarva Yoga Chidi Upatayami Om Surate Samaya Stam Ho Siddhi Vajra the Sukham. So I'm going to flip my page if I memorize this practice. Okay. Okay, so then feel the little Dakini, she says to you, you will now enter into the lineage of all of the yoginis. This holy secret of all the yoginis should not be spoken to those with no faith or those who are not appropriate. Okay, so feel like I'm going to come around and touch you with the Vajra, which just means I'm going to take my practice very seriously. And I just, to use a very, very mundane example, but it just sort of is a good one. If you make love with somebody, you don't go off and tell everybody what it was like. That'd be gross. So the same thing. You're doing a tantric initiation. It's very private. In fact, your relationship with your teachers, whether it's with me or with the other great teachers, I mean, whether it's Lama Zopa or whomever, even Paula, whatever, that's the relationship. Those are the people you can talk to, and also your Vajra brothers and sisters for things. So you say, this is very private and personal, and I appreciate and understand that. Okay, so you've now gotten the commitment to be secretive about your practice. Okay, so now you're going to, you're still just outside the mandala. You're going to do the bodhisattva vows. So remember, you're standing there. Vajra Yogini is in front of you, but you can't really access her completely. And it's very important that then you state who you are. Remember, you're being witnessed. I think that's so important because sometimes we sort of, you put all this focus on the guru in front of you. But what you really want to focus on is the feelings in your own being. I'm a bodhisattva. I want you to hear me say that I'm a bodhisattva. So you're making a personal statement about yourself. And it's being witnessed. It's being witnessed by Vajra Yogini. It's being witnessed by the teacher. It's being witnessed by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So please repeat after me. I take refuge in the three jewels.
I take refuge in the three jewels.
I confess all my downfalls individually.
I confess all my downfalls individually.
I rejoice in the virtues of all beings.
I rejoice in the virtues of all beings.
I take to heart the enlightenment of the Buddhas.
I take to heart the enlightenment of the Buddhas.
I take refuge until my enlightenment.
I take refuge until my enlightenment.
In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
The Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
To best fulfill the purpose of myself and others.
To best fulfill the purpose of myself and others.
I generate an enlightened motive of bodhicitta.
I generate the enlightened motive of bodhicitta.
Having generated the motive for supreme enlightenment.
Having generated the motive for supreme enlightenment.
I invite all sentient beings as my guests.
I invite all sentient beings as my guests.
I shall treat them most pleasingly.
I shall treat them most pleasingly.
With supreme enlightened conduct.
With supreme enlightened conduct.
I shall attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
I shall attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
I take refuge in the three jewels.
I take refuge in the three jewels.
I confess all my downfalls individually.
I confess all my downfalls individually.
I rejoice in the virtues of all beings.
I rejoice in the virtues of all beings.
I take to heart the enlightenment of the Buddhas.
I take to heart the enlightenment of the Buddhas.
I take refuge until my enlightenment.
I take refuge until my enlightenment.
In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
The Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
To best fulfill the purpose of myself and others.
To best fulfill the purpose of myself and others.
I generate an enlightened motive of bodhicitta.
I shall generate the enlightenment motive of bodhichitta.
Having generated the motive for enlightenment,
Having generated the motive for enlightenment,
I invite all sentient beings as my guests.
I invite all sentient beings as my guests.
I shall treat them most pleasingly
I shall treat them most pleasingly
with supreme enlightened conduct.
with supreme enlightened conduct.
I shall attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
I shall attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
At the end of the third recitation, feel that you really qualify yourself as a tantric bodhisattva. I take refuge in the three jewels.
I take refuge in the three jewels.
I confess all my downfalls individually.
I confess all my downfalls individually.
I rejoice in the virtues of all beings.
I rejoice in the virtues of all beings.
I take to heart the enlightenment of the Buddhas.
I take to heart the enlightenment of the Buddhas.
I take refuge until my enlightenment
I take refuge until my enlightenment
in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha,
in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
to best fulfill the purpose of myself and others.
To best fulfill the purpose of myself and others.
I generate an enlightened motive of bodhicitta.
I generate the enlightenment motive of bodhichitta.
Having generated the motive for supreme enlightenment,
Having generated the motive for supreme enlightenment,
I invite all sentient beings as my guests.
I invite all sentient beings as my guests.
I shall treat them most pleasingly
I shall treat them most pleasingly
with supreme enlightened conduct.
with supreme enlightened conduct.
I shall attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
I shall attain Buddhahood to benefit all.
Feel that all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Vajra Yogini is very happy. She smiles at you. Okay, now you're going to take the tantric vows. And someone asked about, okay, first we'll do the tantric vows. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please listen to me.
All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please listen to me.
May I,
May I,
from this time onwards,
from this time onwards,
until I reach the heart of enlightenment,
until I reach the heart of enlightenment,
generate a sacred, peerless bodhicitta,
generate a sacred, fearless bodhicitta,
just as the protectors of the three times did,
just as the protectors of the three times did,
to ensure their enlightenment.
to ensure their enlightenment.
I'll keep strictly the three moral disciplines:
I will keep strictly the three moral disciplines:
morality, gathering virtue,
morality, gathering virtue,
and working for the benefit of sentient beings.
and working for the benefit of sentient beings.
From now on,
And from now on,
I shall take the three supreme refuges
I shall take the three supreme
in
refuges,
Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha,
the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha,
and thus keep the promises
and thus keep the promises
that comes from the yoga
that come from the yoga
of Buddha Vajrayogini.
of Buddha, Vajrayogini.
I shall keep perfectly the promises
I shall keep perfectly the promises
of the great supreme Vajra family,
of the great supreme Vajra family,
Shkobhya,
Shkobhya,
namely the Vajra Bell and Mudra.
namely the Vajra Yogini.
I shall also keep the vow of the Guru
I shall also keep the vow of the Guru,
and take to heart the pure commitments
and take to heart the pure commitments
of the great supreme jewel family,
of the great supreme jewel family,
Ratnasambhava,
Ratnasambhava,
6 times each day,
6 times each day,
giving the 4 generosities
giving the 4 generosities.
from the great pure lotus family,
From the great pure lotus family,
Amitabha,
Amitabha,
which has come from enlightenment.
which has come from enlightenment.
I'll keep each of the sacred Dharma teachings,
I keep each of the sacred Dharma teachings,
2 outer tantras,
2 outer
2
tantras,
secret tantras,
2 secret
and the
tantras,
3 vehicles
3 vehicles,
for the great supreme karma family,
the great supreme Karma family,
Amoga City.
among the cities.
I shall keep perfectly
I shall keep perfectly
all of the promises I have,
each of all the promises I have,
doing as many actions of offerings as I can.
doing as many actions of offerings as I can.
I shall develop a sacred, peerless bodhicitta,
I shall develop a sacred, fearless
and
bodhicitta.
for the sake of all beings,
For the sake of all beings,
I shall keep all my promises without exception.
I shall keep all my promises without exception.
I shall free those who have not been freed,
I shall free those who have not been freed,
and liberate those who have not been liberated,
and liberate those who have not been liberated.
give breath to those without breath,
And give breath to those without breath,
and lead all sentient beings
and lead all sentient
to a
beings
state beyond sorrow.
to the state beyond sorrow.
I shall keep all my promises
I shall keep all my promises
without exception.
without exception.
I shall free those who have not been freed,
I shall free those who have not been freed,
liberate those who have not been liberated.
liberate those who have not been
I'll
liberated.
give breath to those without breath,
I'll give breath to those without breath,
lead all sentient beings
and lead all sentient beings
to the state beyond sorrow.
to the state beyond sorrow.
I shall keep all my promises
I shall keep my promises
without exception.
without
I
exception.
shall free those who have not been freed,
I shall free those who have not been freed,
and liberate those who have not been liberated.
and liberate those who have not been
I
liberated.
shall give breath to those without breath,
I shall give breath to those without breath,
lead all sentient beings
and lead all sentient beings
to the state beyond sorrow.
to the state beyond sorrow.
Feel that you've renewed and sort of polished your tantric vows. Now you're going to take the mother tantra vows. So somebody online asked the question, am I going to get it was called uncommon promises? Yes, you will, but I'll explain them in a second. So again, just feel Vajra Yogini is quite attentive to you, because now you're going to enter into mother tantra. So feel she's looking at you saying, are you really interested in a tantra that I can teach you? So please repeat after me. Eternally I go for refuge.
Eternally I go for refuge.
Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
Eternally I go for refuge.
Eternally I go for refuge.
To all the three vehicles.
To all the three vehicles.
The dakinis.
The dakinis.
Of the yoga and secret mantra.
Of the yoga and secret mantra.
Heroes and heroines.
Heroes and heroines.
Empowering goddesses.
Empowering goddesses.
The great beings, the bodhisattvas.
The great beings and bodhisattvas.
And especially my preceptor.
Especially my preceptor.
Glorious Haruka.
Glorious Haruka.
And all the other heroes.
And all the other heroes.
And all the yoginis.
And all the yoginis.
And Vairochana.
And Vajrayogini.
Bodhisattvas.
Bodhisattvas.
Please give me your attention.
Please give me your attention.
From now on,
From now on,
until I attain non-duality,
until I attain non-duality,
I shall guard the 22
I shall guard the 22
non-dualistic conduct.
non-dualistic conduct.
From now on,
From now on,
until I abide in non-duality,
until I abide in non-duality,
I shall guard well the 22
I shall guard well 22
non-dual conducts.
non-dual conducts.
From now on,
From now on,
until I attain non-duality,
until I attain non-duality,
I shall guard well the 22
I shall guard well the 22
non-dual conducts.
non-dual conducts.
Feel that Vajra Yogini is very, very happy with you. Okay, you can relax a little bit. Take your hands down if you wish. Okay, now one thing. Okay, the standard tantric precepts, we reviewed them lightly yesterday. You can get hold of books very easily and see all of the commentaries on them. There's no problem there. Just remember that, like, for example, when you first learned to drive a car, if you drive a car, you didn't know all the rules. I mean, to stay on the channel and, to turn correctly and things like that. So, and as time passed, you became more proficient. You learned all the little rules. So slowly you became a very good driver. So the same thing applies to practicing Tantra. You don't know all the rules right now. I mean, when I got all my initiations, in fact, even when I got ordained as a monk, I didn't know what my precepts were. All I knew is, I was a monk and I couldn't have a girlfriend. So that was good. I practiced hard. But as time passed, I learned the rules and things. So the same thing applies to your practice of Tantra. Yes, it's a very high practice. Yes, it's very powerful. Yes, it's very special. But then, do the best you can. Just know that you're trying to be a bodhisattva. You have some very special techniques, which you will be introduced to with this initiation. So that's good. So like that. Now, one of the, for men particularly, but also for women, one of the precepts is that you can now no longer ejaculate. I'm just teasing you. Okay, so anyway, gee, I got a room full of men here. Okay, so they just all went into shock. Okay, no, the way that I understand that, and this came from a Sakyapa Lama that I was a translator for. He says, if you have the ability to do that, you have the precept. If you do not have the ability to control your body, you do not have the precept. So therefore, when you read the 22 non-dual conducts, and in the list, most of the things are just never abandon bodhichitta, always help, be faithful to sentient beings, do the offerings every two times a month, the soak offering, things like that are the part of these of her special Haruka Tantra precepts. And one of them is that then don't ejaculate or don't have a climax. Okay, so just know that until you have that ability in your own yoga practice, that you don't need to worry that you're breaking precepts and such. But, as Lama Yeshe said, and, again, this is in regards to, especially lay people, if you continually, let's say, have that, you will find your energy goes down. Whereas if you can sort of maintain yourself a little bit, it'll be better. And anyway, so there's lots of teachings. I don't want to over focus on sexuality. Let's just say you are working with being happy, blissful. Okay, so just take good care of your body, feed it well and such. And as you practice and gain better yoga control, you will, be able to have some interesting experiences, deeper experiences. Okay, so that concludes. Now you have the general, you have bodhisattva vows, be so happy. All the dakinis in the space around you are just really happy for that. Then you took tantric precepts, they're even more happy because now you're practicing in a really deep way. You're going for the deeper techniques like the acupuncture. And now you're even into the yogini tantras, very, very special, very precious, can be some very interesting things happen with you now because you're entering into this level of tantric practice and such. And you're having the practice of Vajra Yogini, which again with the mantra and things. So it's like, wow, you're just so lucky, Okay, so be really happy, and slowly over 5, 10, 15 years, you can start to gain better and better experiences. I said with the Yamantaka, please give yourself 4 or 5 years to figure out what the practice of Tantra is. It doesn't happen like that. As time goes on, you get better ideas. I studied with Lama Thupten Yeshe. Lama Thupten Yeshe, when I met him, I was 20. He was 35 years old. Same with the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama was only 35 years old. He was continuously reading the Heruka Tantra at that point. He's 35. He's still studying it to figure out how to practice subtle things and such like that. And I can say for myself, I've been practicing 50 years now. Okay, there's still sometimes you read something and you go, oh, I understand it finally. It's like that. There's sort of two things. One is sometimes we have delusions, particular things, like maybe we get angry or we're defensive or we're critical or whatever we do, and some can take, 5 or 10 years to finally purify that you don't flip into that sort of thing, because maybe you were traumatized as a kid, like, for example, let's say if your mother and your father, they always criticize you. You could do better in school. You could do this, you could do that, and so you ended up being quite defensive, and such. So then later, as you get older, we maybe have some problems, with being defensive to people criticizing you or something. It takes a long time, and it actually really is that you have to go back maybe to that time when you were a child and quite vulnerable to being criticized, that you then figure out and you stop being defensive. I'm being sincere when I said it. I don't think that next month or in a year or two from now you can figure out your problems. I remember that I had a lady who was doing a retreat with me, okay, and she was in her, I'd say, late 30s, and so we were doing a 10-day retreat, and right in the middle of it, she suddenly remembered that she was raped by her uncle when she was 12 years old. Like she's in a retreat, peaceful, quiet, like sort of just doing breathing meditation, and suddenly all the images came up. Because you could say she was finally, she was peaceful enough that it could come up, but she also was in a very good environment where maybe she could deal with that. She went really, really, really upset. It was very difficult for her and such like that. But the thing is that, in one way, she now had the capacity maybe to deal with it more effectively. Now, she didn't fix it quickly. But my point was that she now suddenly understood herself for the last 15 years of her life. Why she always had to lock the bedroom door, why she was always nervous when she went to sleep at night. She never understood why, and lots of other things. Lots of different things. So finally she started, whoa. And then the neat thing was that because she'd really not let men in her life, she started to get control of herself over the next few years. She got more confidence and stuff. She sort of liberated herself from all of those anxieties. And then the neatest thing was she got a bunch of boyfriends. I mean, it sounds silly, but I was so happy for her because she was really moving past all of that trauma. And she had a boyfriend here, and I don't want him, and you went there. It was great, because she was alive. And now she's just a practitioner. She doesn't really have a boyfriend. She's quite happy. It's not like she's needy, she's also healed herself immensely. I mean, I can say the proudest thing in my life is her, that she's really progressed well. I mean, it's so special, so beautiful. Anyway, so my point being is that you're into tantric practice. I mean, I certainly hope you don't have traumas in your life. But, we all have things that happen to us when we're younger. Maybe it'll take you 5 or 10 years to go and resolve those or really heal yourself. But hey, you have Vajra Yogini on your side now. You have Yamantaka on your side now. You have your Buddha Dharma practice. You have so many assets, really, really good assets. Remember, I told you about the 4 fangs of Yamantaka. Well, his are big. I mean, Vajra Yogini actually has fangs too, but they're a little bit smaller, but it's the same thing. It's the 4 point powers, okay? But I like Yamantaka. He's got bigger fangs. He can really deal with my problems. Okay. Anyway, so we're now going to do what's called the inner Vajra Yogini. Okay, so the inner Vajra Yogini, you're going to allow yourself to disappear. So remember, you're in front of Vajra Yogini. You have your blindfold on. So remember, you're going to just disappear, like I said before. Just allow yourself, like, you can still have the palace and everything around you. You still have the Vajra queen, the queen of the Dakinis in front of you, but you're just going to just evaporate. And you're just going to be conscious energy. And if you got it right, you're clear light, and so therefore you understand reality, et cetera, et cetera. But right now, be sort of that you're just light energy, clear light, not with any color to it. Om Gandaroi Hom Pe, Om Gandaroi Hom Pe. Okay, then feel that in the space where you are comes a double stack reality source. So it's like the Star of David, which is lying horizontal with the points going down. And inside it's quite big. And then inside of that then comes a white moon cushion. And on that then appears a syllable Vam in the center, as your mind's looking at that. Then going counterclockwise around that is the mantra. So just as much as you can remember, it's Om, 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 Sarva Buddha Dakini Ye, Vajravani Ye, Vajravajani Ye, Hom, 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 Pe, 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 Soha. Feel that sends out light rays, comes back, that turns into the inside of that double stack reality source, appears in an 8-petaled lotus. And in that, on top of that, say red sun disk. So it's a sun disk. And on top of that, you become Vajra Yogini. You have 1 face, 2 arms, just like the statue on the altar. Your color is red. Your right leg presses on the breasts of Kalarati, which is the saying that you control desire. The left leg is stretched out and on the back, sort of on the back of the neck of Bhairava, which is Shiva. And you can control anger and aggressiveness like that. So you as Vajra Yogini, you're exalted. You're naked, vibrant. You have nothing to fear, nothing to hide. You're exultant. Your right leg presses on the breasts of Kalarati. Your left leg is stretched out on Black Bhairava on the back of his neck, controlling you so you control desire and anger. You have 1 face, 2 arms. You have 3 eyes. They're looking up to the pure land of the Dakinis. Your right hand is extended down and holds a curved knife, sort of in a downward thing, like stretched out down. And your right hand holds a skull cup up in the space above you. And from that is dribbling nectar into your mouth because you're able to consume things. On your left shoulder is a Khatvanga. It's marked with a Vajra at the top and the bottom of that. And then from that in the middle part hangs a Damaru bell and a 3-pointed banner. Your black hair hangs down the back of your neck and it's very sort of blissfully touching you. It's all loose. You have bone ornaments on your body. You're youthful. Your nipples are hard because you're aroused. You have a very blissful face. You have 5 little skulls on the top of your head like a crown, saying I have the 5 Buddha families. And you have a necklace of 50 skulls around your neck, which just means is that you have full realization. You're totally naked, and you are standing in a blazing fire around you. So again, you're in the middle of a huge palace. You're inside of your double stack reality sources. You are standing on an 8-petal lotus with a red sun. You are vibrant, glorious Vajra Yogini. Okay, now your body is made of light energy, red light energy. So down at the level in your abdomen, the level of your navel, have a little double stack reality source. It's a Star of David lying horizontal. And then from its points, the 6 points, then comes down, the thing goes down towards your pelvic floor. Inside of that, then a little bit lower down below the double stack reality source is a moon cushion. And in the center of that, the syllable Bum. And if you're familiar with what that double stack reality source looks like, on the 4 corners, which would be on the left and the right side, not on the front and the back. Remember, this is inside your abdomen. There's 4 bliss swirls, sort of pink colored, spinning. If you don't know what all this is about, just sort of basically feel that's what's in your stomach. If you're a little bit familiar, then be more detailed. Okay, now you're going to request for an initiation for this, which is the awakening. So please repeat after me. Precious preceptor.
Precious preceptor.
Please bestow upon me.
Please bestow upon me.
The accomplishments of all the excellent qualities.
The accomplishments of all the excellent qualities.
Exalted deeds.
Exalted deeds.
Of the body, speech, and mind.
Of the body, speech, and mind.
Of all the Buddhas.
Of all the Buddhas.
Especially may I have.
Especially may I have.
All the mundane and special.
All the mundane and special.
Accomplishments.
Accomplishments.
Without exception.
Without exception.
Please stabilize these.
Please stabilize these.
Precious preceptor.
Precious preceptor.
Please bestow upon me.
Please bestow upon me.
The accomplishment.
The accomplishment.
Of all the excellent qualities.
Of all the excellent qualities.
And exalted deeds.
And exalted
Of
deeds.
the body, speech, and mind.
Of the body, speech, and
Of
mind.
all the Buddhas.
All the Buddhas.
As well as the mundane and special attainments.
As well as mundane and special attainments.
Without exception.
Without exception.
Please stabilize these.
Please stabilize these.
Please stabilize these.
Please stabilize these.
Okay, so now Vajra Yogini then sends a little dakini. So please put your arms down, meditate. I want you to sit nice and straight. Even those of you online, please sit nice and straight. You know, your chakras all lined up. Don't slouch or anything like that. Okay, I'm going to come around and give you, Vajra Yogini, I'm going to come around and I'm going to put a little ball of fire in your mouth. Okay, and when I put this in, it's a little Vajra Yogini that is really, she's super intense and super alive and energetic. Okay, when it goes in your mouth, I want you to feel it. And she dances from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet and your arms and your legs and your stomach and your genitals, everywhere. She just dances like crazy and she just goes berserk. And she completely wakes up your nervous system. And remember, it's a little dakini. Okay, so you do that as long as you keep doing that. So just keep that meditation. I'm going to come around and give you all the little fire dakinis in your mouth. Okay. So please do that meditation until I tell you otherwise. So remember, she's ballistically inside of your body. Those of you online also, I could give you one too. Okay, now you're still blissful. She's still dancing around inside your body. Feel that she comes to that little reality source in the middle of your stomach. You know, your hollow body is Vajra Yogini. She absorbs into the bum syllable, and she becomes a perfect little Vajra Yogini. One face, two arms. She's in the ecstatic posture that I just described. Left hand stretched down, holding a cleaver. Right hand up in the air, full of nectar dribbling into her mouth. She's looking up at the pure land of the Dakinis, but remember, she's in your navel, in your stomach. She's a tiny, you know, like a tiny little beautiful goddess, full of incredible energy. She has like a banga on her shoulder. She's surrounded by the transcendental fire of transcendental wisdom. She's gorgeous. Feel that she's she has on her body special armor that protects her from negative energy getting inside. So just again, you're focused on the one, she's inside your stomach, inside your navel, inside your hollow body. So in her navel comes Om Bum. Around her stomach, navel Om Bum, which is Vajra Varahi, it's red. In the area of her heart on the skin is a blue Hum Yum Yamani. At her throat, in this little dakini in your stomach, is a white Hrim Mum Mohani. On her forehead, inside your stomach, yellow Hrim Hrim Sachalani. At the crown of her little head, green Hum Hum Centralani. And in total, the limbs on her shoulders and on her hips are the syllables gray Pe Chandika. Now feel that Vajra Yogini, she's very happy. You have that little Vajra Yogini inside of you. She's going to send out light rays to all of the 10 directions, calling on all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas to rain upon you. So feel that every pore of your body receives a little Vajra Yogini that absorbs into your body, and you completely become very, very blissful. Oh, So continue to hold that sort of posture and that meditation. You are Vajra Yogini, and your stomach is a little Vajra Yogini. She's now inside the little reality source. But now I want you to focus on your central channel. It goes from between your two eyebrows, like, you know, your forehead. That's the opening. That's where your third eye is used the big Vajra Yogini. You know, you're focused on the big Vajra Yogini. That goes up to your crown and down in front of your spine, like an arrow, like a very straight shaft. It's the size of a milkshake straw. And then it comes down into your genitals. Okay, for you as men, it would be at the tip of your penis, at the opening of your urethra. For a woman, it's the top of your vagina. Okay, that's according to the instruction of Lama Thupten Yeshi. Okay, so focus on that channel, going from your third eye down to your genitals, as I described it. Then in your genitals, for example, for the men, At the tip of the penis, at the opening door of the urethra, I want you to visualize a white spinning little sesame seed, like it's a little thing about the size of a sesame seed. It's spinning white, very, very, very fast. It's full of like white light energy. At your third eye, where is Vajra Yogini, I want you to have a red little spinning ball, okay, a little spinning sesame seed, okay. These are spinning counterclockwise. Now the one that's down below, I want you to slowly, it goes down to your pelvic floor, it goes down inside your urethra, or for you as a woman, it goes from the tip of your vagina down to the pelvic floor. It turns around, comes back up inside of your body, heading up towards your heart. And it's very, very blissful, like very blissful feelings. Make yourself feel happy. From your third eye, the red one goes up inside your forehead. It goes up to the crown of your head. Try to hold also some of the awareness of the one that's coming up from below. Comes down inside of you, down past your pituitary gland, down in front of your throat, inside of your body, down towards your heart. The two of them come together. Now, at the level of your heart, inside the central channel, the white coming from below, the red coming from above, they mix together. They start to merge, they become a color pink. So very tiny little seeds spinning so fast, so blissful. You have bliss from below, you have clarity from above. And then they spin and they just sort of dissipate. They evaporate like a cloud. And your consciousness is like open like the space of the sky at 30,000 feet. Just open space of sky. Feel that Vajra Yogini says a mantra that protects you. Dura guya samaya om bam hum yam hrim mam hrim hrim hum hum pe tista Vajra. I'm going to come around and touch the crown of your head, the top chakra of your head. I'm going to go and seal that for all of you online. Feel that I put the Vajra on the crown of your head. Om Tista Vajra, Om Tista Vajra, Tista Vajra. For each of you individually. Om Tista Vajra, Tista Vajra, Tista Vajra. Vajra, Tista Vajra. Om Pe soha. Okay, then Vajra Yogini, she offers flowers to you. Pratisa Vajra. Oh, you can relax a little bit. Pratisa Vajra. Oh, Vajra. Oh, Vajra. Relax a little bit. For you online, Pratisa Vajra. Oh. Okay. Okay, you're still blindfolded, remember? But anyway, you're feeling really good. Your body is just sort of like so energized. Pratisagrihana sam idam lavla mahabala. Please repeat after me. Today, glorious Vajra Yogini is making an effort to open my eyes. By being opened, I will see all. These Vajra eyes are unbelievable. Take this, the one end of your little blindfold cord. Okay, when I say you pull it off, feel that you can see this incredible palace around you, that you're inside of your little reality, your double stack reality sources. Up in front of you is the Vajra queen. She's so beautiful. She's smiling at you. Feel that you can see all of that. Om Vajra neta apatahri. Om Vajra he pasha. Take your blindfold off. The entire supported and supporting mandala of the Venerable Vajra Yogini is seen in direct perception. Even if you can't see anything, you should believe it's in front of you. Okay, so now you are you're all Vajra Yogini-ized. Okay, I'm going to offer a mandala in Tibetan. Just feel that in front of you again. Just carry on with your imagination. You're in this incredibly beautiful palace. You are Vajra Yogini. You can drop the double stack reality source around you. You are now sort of just standing in the palace. In front of you is the Vajra Queen, and the space around you is all the Vajra Dakinis. You're all very happy. You're making a mandala to be able to receive the next initiations. Sashi evoke joshi meto tam rira linji nidal gimbadi sange shingdu migde borki rokanana chinla jorjo yedam guru rana mandala kanir tayami. Okay. Okay, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay, please repeat after me. Glorious Yogini, who confers empowerments, magnificent protector of all sentient beings, just as you have bestowed all good qualities, please bestow on me today. Glorious Vajra Yogini, who confers empowerments, magnificent protector of all sentient beings, just as you bestow the source of excellence, likewise, bestow on me today. Glorious Yogini, who confers empowerments, magnificent protector of sentient beings, just as you bestowed good qualities, likewise, bestow on them me today. Okay, feel that you become, but you are Vajra Yogini, one face, two arms. Now, if you want to actually just look at me for a second, okay, you have to, like, you say in your emotions and feelings, you really want to allow yourself to sort of feel Vajra Yogini. So don't get caught up with that you're becoming effeminate or something. That's just ridiculous. Don't do that. Actually, Jetsun Kusho, the Sakya Treason's sister, she said, you people in Western culture, you're so obsessed with like what side of the fence you're on, you know, so stupid. Anyway, so the thing is just follow the visualizations. Don't get caught up with whether you know what's going on. So her right hand, she holds a cleaver, and like so, for example, this is like the cleaver, and she stretched it down. Like remember, she goes like her shoulder, so it goes down. And in her right hand, she has a skull cup, which anyway, it doesn't matter. So and she's got it up in the space, you know, and she's and her chest is forward and she's really happy. And then she's dribbling nectar into her mouth, you know, and she's looking up at the Pure Land. Okay, what's that mean? Okay, so her skull, her cleaver, is like, again, it's symbolic, but it means, you know, it's a special type of knife. It's got a curve and a hook. So it's rather graphic. What it is, the hook part is you put it in the stomach of an animal that you've killed, you pull it up and it cuts the stomach open. And then the curved part, you scoop out all of the intestines. Okay, that's gross, yeah? Okay, but what it represents is she is the person that you could say cuts open the guts of reality. So with the hook, she cuts open the belly of reality. And then she cleans all the guts out. She scoops it up in her skull cup and she can drink it. So it's a substantially different sort of energy compared to Yamantaka. I mean, Yamantaka is really quite intensive, but I want you to feel these things. That like she really is, she's just blissful. She's stretching as her body and she feels so good, you know, and then she has a skull cup and it's her delusions. It's the guts of reality. She can drink it because she has no fear. It's a quite substantially interesting energy to get in touch with, okay? So that's Vajra Yogini, she's standing like that. Of course, she has her one leg controls anger and aggressiveness, the other leg controls desire. So she's a woman in total control. She's very blissful, okay? So anyway, please go back to your meditation and try to generate some of this cognition. So you become Venerable Vajra Yogini. You're on a lion throne, lotus sun. You're standing on top of the Shiva and Parvati. That's the two entities personify anger, aggressiveness, and desire. Above you is a parasol, like a beautiful umbrella. To your left and right side are banners. And you're surrounded by clouds of offerings being scattered on you by little dakinis. There's flower petals and saffron and such. You're standing in all of your ecstasy in front of the great and glorious Vajra Yogini. And in Vajra Yogini, she's going to invite all of the Heruka. From the syllable Zum in the heart of the Guru Vajra Yogini, light radiates and invites the empowering deities, the supported and supported mandala, the glorious Chakrasambhara. All Tathagatas, please bestow compartment upon this one. Having thus been requested, the 8 females of the doors and corners scare away interferences. The heroes proclaim auspicious verses to you. They sing songs and dance around you. They scatter flower petals upon you. The principal deity decides whether they should give you the initiation. The 4 mother consorts, the primary consorts, come above you. They're holding vases filled with nectar, and they want to pour this on you. Then feel that then they start singing first songs. Glorious Heruka, possessing the blazing body, laughing like ha ha, shaking the 3 worlds. Hum and pe, crushing the brains of the demons. Please bestow Peter. Now, having a mantra body, union of A and Zum, having speech non-dual, the sport of the Ale Kali. Just as the Tathagatas have received ablutions at this moment in Buddha's birth, likewise do we now confer this ablution with you. Feel that they pour the nectar upon your body and you feel great bliss as being the ecstatic Vajra Yogini. Feel that you receive a great bliss, and sorry, this is okay. To stay in your blissful state of consciousness, please. Lost my place in the initiation. Okay. Okay. You feel your entire body is filled with the nectar. All the impurities are purified. The excess water runs to the crown of your head, and you're crowned by Heruka Vairochana. Feel that Heruka, the whole Heruka mandala that was invoked around you, absorbs into your body. Chista Vajra He Sattva. Okay, now again, you're the ecstatic Vajra Yogini. You've just been consecrated by Heruka Chakrasambhara. Now you're going to receive the mantra. So from the Vajra Yogini, which is inseparable with the Guru in his heart, and is the 3-home mantra that goes counterclockwise in his heart. And with each of the syllables that I'm going to repeat, a little flame from one of those syllables comes up and out of his mouth into your mouth and down into your heart, and you receive the mantra. In this way, then, by the end of the 3rd recitation of the mantra, you've received the little flames of mantra in your heart. Please repeat after me. Om, Om, Om.
Om, Om, Om.
Sarva Buddha.
Sarva Buddha.
Dakiniye.
Dakiniye.
Vajravaniye.
Vajrayogini.
Vajraverochaniye.
Vajrayogini.
Hum, hum, hum.
Hum, hum, hum.
Pe, pe, pe.
Pe, pe, pe.
Soha.
Soha.
Om, Om, Om.
Om, Om, Om.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Vajravaniye.
Vajrayogini.
Vajraverochaniye.
Vajrayogini.
Hum, hum, hum.
Hum, hum, hum.
Pe, pe, pe.
Pe, pe, pe.
Soha.
Soha.
Om, Om, Om.
Om, Om, Om.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Sarva Buddha Dakiniye.
Vajravaniye.
Vajrayogini.
Vajraverochaniye.
Vajrayogini.
Hum, hum, hum.
Hum, hum, hum.
Pe, pe, pe.
Pe, pe, pe.
Soha.
Soha.
Feel that the mantra sits very stable in your heart. Just a Vajra. Then please repeat after me. Now, you're going to make a commitment to say her mantra every day. This is the big thing. Remember, in my 40 years, 49 years of doing Vajra Yogini, only 4 times in my whole life have I forgot to do it. So this is what you need to do. You need to be really serious about this. Now, I would recommend that you say 3 or 7 mantras each day. That's your commitment. So your commitment, remember, was 6-session guru yoga from taking the Yamantaka. It's the same thing. So you don't do more. You just do 6-session guru yoga. But every day you're going to say her mantra. Now, if you say the sadhana and stuff, that's great. But as I said earlier, first I'd recommend you do Yamantaka practice for a few years, remove some interferences. And then later on, when you're a little bit more mature in your practice, then switch over to Vajra Yogini, which is a practice of great bliss. But for you now, and when you do switch over to Vajra Yogini, I want you to do her mantra every day. It's like making, Lama Yeshe said, it's like making a cell phone call to her. Every day you phone her a little bit, and one day she might answer. But the point is this is really important. Like I say, take it seriously. I have the best example of this. One of my students in Canada, one time she said she woke up at like 3 in the morning and realized she hadn't done her mantra that day. And she says she was just filled with this anxiety, and she realized, oh, that's just like if I'd had sex and forgot to take my pill. You know, it's that serious. It's like, whoa, you know. So like that, I want you to have that feeling that every day. Now, it can happen that you forget to say it. Okay, but then next day just double it or triple it, you know, say it a whole bunch more, say, I'm so sorry about Yogini. Okay, and I can promise you that I and most of my Vajra brothers and sisters, we've all woken up at 3 in the morning and said, damn it, did I say my mantra? And then you say it, you know, or do your 6-session guru yoga. It happens, you know, things are sometimes life is crazy. But the most important thing is that you do this, because this is it's your connection to Vajra Yogini at this moment. Down the road, you know, if you have the chance to do the practice and such, you know, and then doing retreats and things, it'll be spectacular. But the big thing is you do this mantra. Now, if you do this, keep your commitment with Vajra Yogini between now and when you die, whenever that would happen. If you keep your commitment, she says that she will meet you when you go into the bardo. She and Haruka and all the Dakinis, they will meet you as you go and enter into the bardo. And so that the guarantee for that, like your airplane ticket to go to the pure land of Vajra Yogini, is keeping your commitment. If you can keep all of your commitments, you know, all of the 5 Buddha family commitments and everything, that's really good, that's important. And then keeping her mantra, very important, you know, being a bodhisattva, very important, all of those things. So please repeat after me. Now I want you're going to say your name. When I say I, whose name, you say your name, and those of you online too, please. Okay, and then you're going to say, I will repeat the 3 Om mantra, the 3 Om Dharani mantra, and then you say the number. Now, in your mind, you should say, I would recommend 3 or 7. I've heard traditionally it should be 7, but 3 is okay too. Or you can say 21, but don't say something like 100 if you're a beginner. I do 100 every day, but then I've been doing this for 40 years. And for me, it's like, you know, waking up in the morning and brushing my teeth. It's going to be Vajra Yogini practice. I'm sure Paula does the same. Maybe she does 200 or 300 every day. She's quite a practitioner. Anyway, so with that thought in mind, please repeat after me. Guru Vajra Yogini.
Guru Vajra Yogini.
Please pay attention to me.
Please pay attention to me.
I, whose name is.
I, whose name is.
From now until the reaching.
From now until the reaching.
The essence of enlightenment.
The essence of enlightenment.
Shall hold the venerable Vajra Yogini.
Shall hold the venerable Vajra Yogini.
As my deity.
As my deity.
For accomplishing Kachara.
For accomplishing Kachara.
The pure land.
The pure land.
And recite the 3 Om mantra.
Recite the 3 Om mantra.
Say the number of times. To yourself. Each day.
Each day. Each day.
Guru Vajra Yogini.
Guru Vajra Yogini.
Please pay attention to me.
Please pay attention to me.
I, whose name is.
I, whose name is.
From now until I reach.
From now until I reach.
The essence of enlightenment.
The essence of enlightenment.
Shall hold the venerable Vajra Yogini.
Shall hold the venerable Vajra Yogini.
As my deity.
As my deity.
For accomplishing the pure land Kachara.
For accomplishing pure land Kachara.
And will recite the 3 Om mantra.
Recite the 3 Om mantra.
In your mind, say the number. every day.
every day.
Guru Vajra Yogini,
Guru Vajra Yogini,
please pay attention to me.
please pay attention to me.
I, whose name is,
I, whose name is,
from now until I reach
from now until I reach
the essence of enlightenment,
the essence of enlightenment,
shall hold Venerable Vajra Yogini
shall hold Venerable Vajra Yogini
as my deity
as my deity,
for accomplishing the Pure Lankachara,
for accomplishing pure Lineage.
and I will recite the 3 Om mantra
I recite the 3 Om mantra
every day.
every day.
Feel that she's very happy you made the commitment. You're entering into the Vajra Yogini family. Okay, Bhagavan, by bestowing upon me, okay. Okay, please repeat after, oh, no. Wait a second, there's a few more things to do, okay? Okay, so please repeat after me. Bhagavan,
Bhagavan,
please bestow upon me,
please bestow upon me,
please grant me blessings.
please grant me blessings.
Please bless me.
Please bless me,
Please bless me.
please bless me.
No, wait, I'm sorry. Okay. Feel that Vajra Yogini says, Bhagavan, please bless, no, not just me, I say this, okay, Bhagavan, please bless this person, Bhagavan, grant blessings to this person's. Okay, I'm going to come around and I'm going to do 2 things. For those of you online, I'm going to give you on your head the vase, and I'm going to give you a little bit of the nectar. All of the people in this room, I'm going to touch the crown of your head with this vase. I'm going to put a little bit of this is the nectar of Vajra Yogini in your hand. Please drink it and then meditate that you're in great bliss. Okay, I'm now also going to come around with the body mandala. And the body mandala, I'm going to touch your forehead, throat, and heart. So for those of you online, this is the body mandala initiation. So in this way, you have received the body mandala initiation, or the vase initiation. The vase initiation, which you've received with both the vase on the crown and with the nectar in your hand. You've also purified all the stains of your body. You are empowered now to meditate on the 11 yogas of Vajra Yogini of the generation stage. And you are wonderfully, you are very blessed. Okay. I would tend to think right now, I mean, if you're not feeling really blissful, there's something wrong. I mean, Vajra Yogini Tantra is unbelievable, you know, so special. Okay, so now then, you're going to receive the secret empowerment. So right now, remember, you are Vajra Yogini. Okay, you can relax a little bit in your meditation. Okay, so you are Vajra Yogini. You have that identification. I described this yesterday. You used to think that you came from England or Europe or from America or something, and you thought that was your birth certificate. But now you've been introduced to your Dharmakaya, your Buddha nature, which is your most profound nature of your consciousness. It's your soul, but in Buddhism we call it Buddha nature. Okay, that's where you really came from. So that's the place of where your birth came from. Then from there you manifested Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya. Sambhogakaya is your body of enjoyment or your astral body. Nirmanakaya is your physical form. Okay, so now your identification is, I'm coming from Dharmakaya. So all of the previous identifications of being an American or a European or an Englishman or something, that doesn't apply anymore. You have a new birth certificate. In fact, it's your real birth certificate. Because, you know, for example, I mean, England's an impermanent country. America didn't exist 300 years ago. You know, those things are all impermanent. They're not something to put your faith or your belief into. Putting your faith and belief into your Buddha nature, that's something to put your faith and belief into. So you come from Dharmakaya, which is the real nature of your consciousness, the clear light. From that, then you manifest because of compassion to benefit. So that's what the first initiation, the base initiation has that quality. You now can identify that you are where you're really coming from. Now, this next thing is that within that body of yourself is Vajra Yogini, which of course is into regular body, you're going to receive the nectar of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. This goes on your tongue and it goes through all your nervous system, purifying all your chakras. Remember that your nerve channels in your body, which are the channel ways that you then use with your energy to go and bring into your heart chakra and to become enlightened, to open up your channels and such, they have three faults. They can be blocked, they can be crooked, or they can be dry. So when you receive this initiation, you feel that all of that is purified along with your speech. This also means is that from now on into the future, your speech has power. Meaning is when you say love, it has the feeling of love. When it says wisdom and nature of reality, it has that feeling. So that's the meaning that your energy and your speech are united. It means that your speech is like mantra. Okay, so that's part of this blessing. So feel that, just visualize that Vajra Yogini then calls on all the Tathagata Buddhas of the 10 directions to enter into union. They enter into union, and by the deity, by the bliss, the great bliss, it falls into the skull cup on the altar. And then Vajra Yogini will come around and put it on your tongue. So when I put this on your tongue, again for you online, just feel that your body goes into bliss. All your nervous system is very purified and clean. Actually, I'll put it in your hand. Put it in your mouth. So in that way you've received the it goes into your tongue, it then goes into your nerve channels. All your body becomes very, very blissful. All the 80 or 72,000 channels of your body are purified. And you have a better ability to meditate on bliss and voidness. And this way, you receive the secret empowerment, which is received by the nectar of the mandala of exalted speech. All the stains of your speech have been purified, and you are empowered to meditate on the central channel and all of the practices of the completion stage. You possess the fortune to attain a resultant complete enjoyment body, which is your pure astral body. So now just think of, okay, my nervous system has been touched and purified and cleaned up a lot. I have much better abilities. And you can meditate on your central channel and such. Okay, now you're going to receive the next initiation. Okay, now the next initiation is going to take a few sort of steps. Okay, I have to come around and have access to your navel, your heart, although it can be through your shirt, your throat, and your crown. Okay, your forehead and crown. Okay, now this is called the mind mandala. So this is the mind mandala here for those of you online. Okay, on this then are the 5 points of the 4 bliss swirls in the center. I come around and I touch your stomach, or your navel, your heart, your throat, and your forehead. Now, you have to meditate, is that you have to feel that from your genitals and your pelvic floor, a very, very nice feeling comes up to your stomach. And you rest there for a few minutes, just feeling really good energy in your stomach. Then that energy comes up to your heart, and you feel that your heart feels really, really good. It comes up to your throat, and it feels really, really good. And then it comes up to the crown of your head, and you feel really, really unbelievably excellent. You feel all your body is filled with appreciation of the bliss and the voidness. So I'm going to come around and do that as I recite the mantra. Please meditate in that way. So first online, Om 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 Sarva Buddha Kini Vajrayogini Vajrayogini Om Pe 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 Soha Sarva Buddha Kini Vajrayogini Vajrayogini Om Pe 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 Soha Om Sarva Buddha Kini Vajrayogini Vajrayogini Om Pe 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 Soha Om Sarva Kini Vajrayogini Om Pe 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 Soha Om Sarva Buddha Kini Vajrayogini. So, Om Om Sarva Buddha Kini Vajrayogini Vajrayogini Om Pe 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 Soha. So feel from your genitals, a very warm, good energy comes up to your abdomen. You feel bliss. Comes from your abdomen to your heart. The bliss gets better. Goes from your heart to your throat. It's even better. It goes up to the crown of your head and you just tingle all over. Supreme bliss. Bliss appreciating the voidness. Okay, feel that all of your body, all of the nerve channels and chakras in your body are completely pervaded with this wonderful blissful feeling. Feel that the hormones related to that are all throughout all of your channels and such. All the channels are humid. You experience great joy of the bliss and the voidness. In this way, you've received the wisdom, knowledge, wisdom empowerment, and receive the Sindara mandala of the exalted mind. All stains of your mind have been purified. You are empowered to rely on the path of the messengers, the Dakinis, and you possess the fortune to actualize the resultant body of truth, which is the Dharmakaya. Okay, so you can put your clothes back on. For those of you online, there's a room full of men, they all took their shirts off. I've never had that in an initiation. Because normally there's women and they don't take their shirts off. You can hear all these very blissful men in the background. They're getting connected to their feminine side. Isn't that nice? Okay. That's good. Wow. This is so nice, you know. This is the best. Okay, please repeat after me. Okay, phenomena have reality without nature.
Phenomena have reality without nature.
Like space.
Like space.
Stainless.
Stainless.
With the Vajra of exalted wisdom.
With the Vajra of exalted wisdom.
Open like the space of the sky.
Open like the space of the sky.
Meditate on emptiness.
Meditate on emptiness.
Okay, you can relax, or you can just hold that for a while. I always like to sort of say that, you know, when I go to the void, or when the ultimate nature of void, then just everything dissolves and I'm at like at 30,000 feet, nothing around me whatsoever. And I am oneness with that open space of the sky. That's your most subtle mind. And you try to make it very subtle, like the sensation, appreciation of like, okay, I'm at 30,000 feet. You know, there's air and wind and things, but that's sort of like coarse. So I'm more subtle and more subtle. I am oneness with that. I am just the open space of the sky. Clarity, clear light, and bliss. Now, you will attain that when you do open your central channel. It's the nature of your being. But right now, our mind is always very confused. It runs around. It's very externalized. So as you get closer to being realized, that is having that your mind is a creator of your existence, then you can start to appreciate that, okay, may I be bodhichitta for the benefit of sentient beings with my form, but my most subtle nature is my Dharmakaya, my clear light consciousness. That's very subtle. And when that very subtle energy manifests a little bit, becomes a bit coarser, it is because of love and compassion. It becomes a syllable Bam, or it becomes in me as Vajra Yogini. Okay, please just listen to this. This is the meaning. There has never been the slightest bit of true independent existence. That is, this is the reality of all phenomena. It is free from the extremes, existence, non-existence, permanence, or annihilation. That's like the Heart Sutra. Form here is only emptiness, emptiness is only form. Form is no other than emptiness, emptiness is no other than form. So like we described yesterday in the initiation with Yamantaka, space is not as something that gets out of the way of the planet Earth. Space is non-obstruction. Now it is, in one way, it is something we can identify, but it's not a something. So the same thing, all phenomena, they all function, but they all are functioning within the understanding of not being independently self-existent. And in that realm, you know, in the relative realm where phenomena are still appearing, may I be a bodhisattva, a Buddha that works for the benefit of all sentient beings. It is a center of space, since primordially its nature has never been tainted by the stains of conceptions and elaborations of subject and object. It is pure and stainless. Such an object is emptiness. Meditate single-pointedly on the emptiness of all phenomena. It is a non-dual experience, open like the space of the sky. By understanding this, great bliss is born in your mind. In this way, the precious word empowerment has been received in the mandala of the ultimate bodhichitta. All stains of the 3 doors of your body, speech, and mind have been purified. You are empowered to meditate on the path of the inconceivable, the Mahamudra, and you possess the fortune to actualize the resultant natural body of the Buddhas. Please repeat after me. I shall do everything.
I shall do everything.
Just as you, the teacher, has said.
Just as you, the teacher, has said.
I shall do everything.
I shall do everything.
Just as you, the teacher, has said.
Just as you, the teacher, has said.
I shall do everything.
I shall do everything.
Just as you, the teacher, has said.
Just as you, the teacher, has said.
So what did I say? I said, you only do the 6-session Guru Yoga and the mantra of Vajra Yogini. That's your commitment with me. So don't, and then of course be a bodhisattva. But the thing is, that's your commitment. Don't have any doubts. If you want to do the sadhanas of Yamantaka and Vajra Yogini, please do so in the long run, in the larger sort of frame of things, okay? But that's the commitment, so be very clear about it. Please, from now until the day you die, do your Vajra Yogini mantra. And then when you do die, you'll go and meet all the dakinis in the space of the world around you. And you can go to the Pure Land and continue your practice, or you can take another rebirth as you wish, whatever seems most appropriate. This practice is unbelievably special. Even if you had a little bit of bliss, that's what it really is all about. Our normal relative mind is always full of so much garbage. When we practice Vajra Yogini and recite our mantra, we can have many good experiences. It gives us context, a greater vision about our life. And I think that's really important that you say, okay, I had this one rebirth, may I do something good in it? That the next rebirth has bodhicitta, and the birth after that has bodhicitta. That I'm going somewhere with the continuity of my consciousness. Okay, so please repeat after me. From now on, I offer myself as a good student. Take care of me as a good disciple. Okay, we offer the mandala again, so we all have the paper for mandala. Please offer it with great thanks to Vajra Yogini. Okay, for those of you online, we're going to do soak in a little while, so just stay put, don't go anywhere, we're not finished at all. Whenever you do a Vajra Yogini Haruka initiation, you always have to offer soak. It's okay. So please, can you lead us, Yogini Allen? Yogini, my brain went dead.
And all the feet
I present this offering to the Buddha fields to be able to request by entering the mandala by Vajra Yogini. Om Vajra Yogini. Here is the mighty and powerful golden base. Om Vajra Yogini. In the center of the nine mountains stands Meru, king of all mountains. To the 4 directions and sub-directions are the 4 continents and sub-continents. In the east is the treasure mountain, in the south the wish-granting tree, in the west the wish-granting cow, in the north the unplowed harvest. Here is the precious wheel, here is the precious jewel, here is the precious consort, here is the precious minister, here is the precious elephant, here is the precious athletic horses. Here is the precious general, and here is the great treasure vase. Here is the goddess of play. Here is the goddess of garlands. Here is the goddess of song. Here is the goddess of dance. Here is the goddess of perfume. Here is the goddess of flowers. Here is the goddess of incense. And here the goddess of light. Here is the sun, and here is the moon. Here is the umbrella of all that is precious. And here the all directions. Here is the center of all the possessions precious of gods and men. With the magnificent collection of nothing, I offer to the Buddha fields as a gift to request to you, O glorious and holy, kind root and lineage gurus, to be allowed to enter into the mandala of sublime Vajra Yogini. In your compassion, offering for the sake of all beings, and not accepting, I request as well, through your great compassion, several ways to inspire and bring to all sentient beings, including myself, by directing to the field of the Buddha's this offering of a mandala, built on a base resplendent with flowers, saffron water, and incense, adorned with Mount Meru and the 4 continents, the sun and moon, may all sentient beings be led to these fields. Send forth to me the rays of inspiring strength, so that after training on the common paths and becoming a proper vessel, I might easily enter into the holy vehicle for those of good fortune, the Vajra vehicle, which is the supreme of all vehicles. Om Milam Guru Ratna.
Okay, so just a few words before we start soak. So you've now received the full initiation. I don't want to overemphasize it, but I think that it's really important to appreciate that, for example, receiving initiation and from who you received it. For example, I mean, if you take Rob Priest, he's been practicing for, I think, 45 years, maybe a few less than me. You take Paula, Lama Paula, she's been practicing and doing an incredible amount of retreats. If you get an initiation from them, that's very precious. I mean, having initiation from someone that did practice for 5 years or 10 years, very nice, you know. But the thing is to really think about these people. They met the great gurus. They took initiations from great gurus, from the ones that came originally out of Tibet. And so really they very precious. So the thing is, again, I'm not saying it's about us, but the thing is, appreciate it. It's not something like you're getting something that somebody studied for 2 or 3 years and turned around and started teaching and said, oh yeah, I have the realizations. You know, you guys online and you guys here, you really have done something special, you know, you've got incredible good opportunity, something that's not that easy to get. I don't know in the future, you know, 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now, there'll be that many people that do really big retreats. I spent 5 years in retreat, 2 years of doing the preliminaries, 3 years of doing Yamantaka. And after that, I've done many, many short retreats, both of Yamantaka, Vajra Yogini, and other deities. I mean, I can't say enough about Paula. She's just unbelievable. She's done, you know, the Vajra Yogini retreat extensively. Then she did the Yamantaka retreat extensively. And then she continually does practices. Then she went and did Chode in New Zealand, all over New Zealand, 108 nights in a row, night doing Chode practice, all from memory, you know. Then she went to Scotland and did it there. I mean, that's a divine woman. And I mean, I know she's listening and most likely she's embarrassed I'm saying this right now, but damn it, I mean, it's somebody that you don't get people like that. There are people in other lineages, like in Cardiff and in Ningmapa, that do great retreats, and I just don't know them that well. But I mean, truly, there's some special people in this world that really put their time into spiritual practice, not materialistic practice. So you guys are into that. You're into a spiritual practice. It's not about how much money you make or anything. It's about being a really nice person. You know, the biggest sign of being a real tantric practitioner is that you're a nice person. You're approachable. So remember that in yourself. You know, that the big objective is I'm a bodhisattva. I'm a bodhisattva that practices tantra. That's my private secret practice. My outer practice is being a nice person. I mean, take the Dalai Lama, such an incredible inspiration, you know. I mean, look at him, unbelievable, you know, and he does incredible practices, and yet he works so hard for the sentient beings in the world. I mean, such a precious man. Or you take Lama Zopa Rinpoche, unbelievable. I mean, really unbelievable. I mean, I personally think Lama Zopa lives in another realm, you know, his consciousness in another realm. I'll tell you a story just for the fun of it. Maybe I explained, maybe I repeat myself sometimes, forgive me. But Lama Zopa, no, I think I told about the Mexican group. Yeah, I told it, okay, I already told it in the Yamantaka initiation. So go back and watch the Yamantaka initiation. But anyway, Lama Zopa, I mean, he's omniscient and clairvoyant. Anyway, and then other teachers, you know, unbelievable. I mean, Ling Rinpoche, Tricha Rinpoche, Song Rinpoche. I mean, wow. I don't know if there's so much of that now. I mean, you know, those beings came out of Tibet, you know, and they were all older. They were all in their 50s or 60s when that happened, you know, and they grew up in that environment of Tibet, which is such an incredible environment. And then we had the opportunity. Some of us had the opportunity to be with them. Some of them, maybe they're still alive. A lot of them have passed on, you know, like, but there's like Garchen Rinpoche, there's Rilbo Rinpoche, he's passed, of course. Anyway, so the thing is, these lineages are very alive right now. So don't think that this is something not that important, you know. And for experiences, if you practice sincerely, and I said at the beginning, do you want to know the real face of Vajra Yogini? It's you being a sincere bodhisattva, having bodhicitta, and having some appreciation of the voidness. In the praise of may I behold the beautiful face of the yogini, in that praise, it says, you know, you Vajra Yogini are the essence of my mind, the A and the Bam. So really, if you want to know how to see Vajra Yogini, just practice sincerely. And then she'll manifest. She's called the messenger, the one that brings you the understanding of the nature of reality. Okay, so anyway, just be inspired, don't lose your practice. If you do, don't beat yourself up about it. Just next day, sort of take it very seriously. Don't lose your practice for a week or two. That would really be bad, unless you're in a coma. You know, but aside from that, basically, don't ever lose your practice, you know. And my main thing, of course, bodhicitta, sunyata, but in the aspect with being Vajra Yogini. Now, I'm going to do 7 days of commentary on Vajra Yogini. I know that most of you will listen to online. Great, that will start tomorrow. Monday morning, there's a session from 10 to 12, which is just us practicing. Then from 2 to 4, there's just practice. Then the teachings are going to be from 6:30, is it 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock till approximately 8 or 9, depends on how much I teach. Okay, and it'll be for 7 days in a row. Now that is the traditional presentation of the teachings. I received it that 2 times actually. I received it once in the Gelugpa lineage, actually several times, and then once in the Sakyapa lineage. I will be teaching the Gelugpa lineage coming from Locho Dhammabhadra. That is in harmony with Pabonka Rinpoche too, but actually all of the work of Pabonka Rinpoche, this is basically based on Locho Dhammabhadra. And I'll talk about him tomorrow, something you can look forward to. So anyway, that's going to happen for the next 7 days. It's a traditional presentation. If you miss some days, it will be recorded and we'll post it in a private YouTube channel that you can get access to, and then you can watch it again and again. Okay, I'm just one of teachers. Like I said, there's other teachers that are very qualified. So please expand and get teachings from other people and take the initiation again and again if you have the opportunity. Okay, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 enlightened men in this room, and we're going to sing the Vajra songs. Okay, so
do you want the camera moved back?
yeah, please, yeah. Move the camera to the end and show
so
everybody.
it can all move up here.
Might not pick up.
No, just put it right against the wall.
So you can see everyone. Screen is here.
Don't move up, you can move the camera a little closer. So I'd like you all to recognize Akas. Now, actually, this is called only half a circle. The full circle would be with both men and women, but it seems nowhere in the came for this, so it's okay. Now, you online, you're women, so you make the full circle. Okay, so now I was going to do the soak offering like with the inspiration of Paula, but I couldn't get it downloaded properly and I couldn't get it all printed properly. So we're going to do the version that was from Rob Priest that he did about 40 years ago. I don't know, I think we posted it in the chat, didn't we?
The sock text, yeah.
So yeah, we posted it in the soak text, so it is available for you to follow. Now, let me just get my make sure I say it. Okay, so now we're still in the mandala of Vajra Yogini. She's here on the altar. I'm Vajra Yogini. All of you guys know her Vajra Yogini. It said it's important to say that the Buddhas and sentient beings are equal in the perspective of the nature of reality. So we are all Vajra Yoginis. Okay, now in the space, so we're in the beautiful grand palace of Vajra Yogini. Around us, we should feel that there's all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and they're all dancing and then throwing flower petals, and they're really happy. This is a party. Remember, this is what soap is a party of the Buddhas, and it's a party we offer to all the gurus and the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, saying, we really care for you and love you a lot. Thank you so much. You know, because of your interdependence with us, we have the chance to become enlightened. And with our interdependence with sentient beings, we have a chance to practice. So with that then, we just start off with Om Ah Om Om Ah Om Om Ah Om. Please chant, guys. You know, wonderful melodious voices. Yamaho within the grand play of the pristine awareness. All places are Vajra fields, structures, Vajra palaces, oceans of clouds billow forth, Samanta Vajra offerings. All objects are imbued with the glories of all wishes. All beings are actual, great Viras and Viranis, without even words endure. All is infinitely pure. Om from a state of Dharmakaya, still of mental conception, upon a turbulent wind, and a powerful blazing fire, resting on the crown of a tripod of 3 human heads. In a human skull cup, only ingredients appear. Above them are Om Ahum, sparkling with brilliant color. The wind blows, the fire flares, and the ingredients melt. From these boiling substances, copious vapors tumble forth. Then from the 3 syllables, light in profusion radiates. Out in the 10 directions, drawing forth the 3 Vajras, with nectar which then dissolves into the 3 syllables. These melt into nectar and blend with the ingredients, purifying, transforming, and increasing in all. Thus an ocean of splendor, of all that could be wished for. Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum. Of root and lineage gurus, hidden assemblies of days. Okay, it's a better tune. Okay, hang on, guys. We're a very good male choir, but we're going to do a little bit better. I have a here. Okay, so
enter to Bluetooth. Bluetooth connected.
Isn't it great?
Wait, sorry, I gotta get the right spot. There's tunes which I haven't got for to memorize. Okay, wait. Perhaps all the Vajra Yoginis are singing around us. And increasing in now follow him, he's got good choice. Ocean of nectar, all that could be wished for. Here comes assemblies of deities. Three spiritual wells of refuge. Dear as thy king is I request you by your compassion. Come your radiance be firmly upon this elegant throne for jewels. Is there vast ocean of outer and secret offerings, grant us striving for realization. For this ocean of offering so of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of root and lineage gurus. Contented by your sport with all these pleasures that could be wished for. For this ocean of offering so of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of roots, with your entourage. By your sport with all these who we wish for. For this ocean of remaining soul of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of precious jewels of refuge. Contented by your sport with all these pleasures that could be wished for. For this ocean of offering so of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of the kings of Dharma. Contented by your sport with all these splendors that could be wished for. For this ocean of offering so of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of beings who were once our mothers.
Tempted by your sport, all these splendors that could be wished for. Here is the great circle of soul. Oh, you have followed in the footsteps of all the Buddhas of the three times, realizing that you are the source of all powerful attainments, O great teacher. You who have freed yourselves from all superstitions, we invite you continually to enjoy this circle of soul. Allahu. I visualize myself as a Druid with a nature inseparable from the three Vajras. On his nectar of uncontaminated, pristine awareness, who without moving from the state of bodhichitta, I play with to satisfy the needs within my form. Aho Mahasuka. Dios mío grandioso. Thank you. Okay, so we can dish out the soap. Everybody gets a little bit of soap. Our male choirs need some tuning, but we're doing good. If you online are doing soap, you know, to the best of your ability, then please enjoy your soap now. Paula, please forgive me, I didn't use your chanting. I would love to, but it didn't happen.
Wakey, wakey. Plus, keep passing it till you're
Oh, okay, we're not going on.
That's it.
Remember, this is blessed food, so enjoy it. Aho Mahasuka. And then actually in English would be, oh my God, that's wonderful. Aho Mahasuka. Actually, how about the show? You showed everything.
One piece of meat better.
The beers or whatever, you know. No, the individual items that are easy to do some of these.
Just gonna take the rest into the other room.
I have one extra.
It's too bad we don't have.
Yeah, one is for me. Yeah. We need more arms.
So you guys aren't familiar with the system, so we're doing the best we can. Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Andrew.
Have a practice session next time.
Yeah. Well, I actually have a recording of this, which I'll make available for you guys, okay? And it's with the original chanting of Rob Priest, so it's pretty good. Thank you. He's got a very good voice. All of you online, I don't know how many of you are still there, but hang in there. At one moment, whoa, it was powerful, wasn't it? We guys, you know, all of us Dakas singing the Vajra songs. Okay, the next section, you have to think that all the space is full of Daka Dakinis, and they're all singing in a beautiful, beautiful way. Try to follow the tune that I'm going to sing. And of course, drink a little bit of your nectar and such, enjoy it, please. Okay, so don't chant this yet, but get the tune, okay? So it's we make our request to you, Tathagatas gone beyond, Refuge and Yoginis, all Dakas and Dakinis, Karuka delights in supreme bliss, thereby becomes intoxicated. By this blissful intoxication, brings satisfaction to the consort, who accord with precepts of practice, entering the union on innate bliss. Ah la 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 ho, ah you, the vast multitudes of immaculate Dakinis, look upon us all with love, bestow powerful attainments. Om, we make our request to you, Tathagatas gone beyond, great Viras and Yoginis, all Dakas and Dakinis, through inspiring the mind of great bliss and the moving counts of their bodies, there arises the play of great bliss within the lotus of the consort. This bliss we offer to you, multitudes of powerful yogis. La 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 you, the vast multitudes of immaculate Dakinis, look upon us all with love, bestow powerful attainments. Om, we make our request to you, Tathagatas gone beyond, great Viras and Yoginis, all Dakas and Dakinis, Yoginis who dance so sensually, with enchanting and graceful movements, the protector so fully to please, and the multitudes of Dakinis come before us and inspire us all, bestow upon us innate great bliss. Ah la 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 ho, you, the vast multitudes of immaculate Dakinis, look upon us all with love, bestow powerful attainments. Om, we make our request to you, Tathagatas gone beyond, great Viras and Yoginis, all Dakas and Dakinis, great bliss which is endowed with countless liberating qualities, without which freedom cannot be gained through an endless great austerity. That sublime bliss so abides within the center of the supreme lotus. Ah la 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 ho, you, the vast multitudes of immaculate Dakinis, look upon us all with love, bestow powerful attainments. Om, we make our request to you, Tathagatas gone beyond, great Viras and Yoginis, all Dakas and Dakinis, just as a lotus born out of mud, great bliss through evolving from desire, is unsullied by its defilements, arising immaculately pure. May samsara's bonds be swiftly loosed by your lotus bliss, great yoginis. Ah,
You the vast multitudes of immaculate Dakinis, look upon us all with love, bestow powerful attainments, whom we make our request to you. Tathagatas gone beyond, great Viras and Yoginis, all Dakas and Dakinis, just as swarming bees will so draw forth the purest nectar of fragrant flowers, may we too be fully satisfied by the captivating nectars of the lotus in full maturity, possessing 6 refined qualities. You the vast multitudes of immaculate Dakinis, look upon us all with love, bestow powerful attainments. Okay, stop. Okay, so we're going to bless it. You do it a little bit quickly. Whom in pure deceptive appearances become purified in the sphere of voidness. This magnificent nectar created of pristine awareness. Whom becomes a vast ocean of all desired things. Om. Okay, then we do. Now this is the slower part again. For this ocean of remaining soul of undefiled nectar, blessed by samadhi, mantra, and mudra, we offer in order to please you, hosts of oath, bound realm protectors. Contented by your sword with all these splendors that could be wished for. Okay, just read the next part. Ho! By offering this ocean for me, so guests who have gathered together for the cause, may the precious teachings proliferate. May the upholders of the teachings, the offering patrons, together with their entourage, and especially we yogis, may we all gain freedom from sickness, life, good fortune, and wealth. Bestow on us the powerful attainments of actions, such as purification, increase, and so forth. O all protectors, protect us. Help us attain more powerful attainments. Make us meet no untimely death, sickness, demons, or interfering spirits. See that we have no bad dreams of illness or calamities. May we have worldly happiness, good crops and harvests. May the Dharma flourish, all goodness and joy come about, and may all wishes within our minds be fulfilled. And by the force of this bountiful giving, may I become the self-made Buddha for the sake of all living beings. And by my generosity, may I liberate the multitudes of beings who were not liberated by the Buddhas of old. Okay, more dance. Guys, okay. For those of you who know Tibetan, Lama Sangye Dru Kyurne Drowa Chikyam Maluba Yeki Sala Gopar Show. This is dedication verse. Chanshu Sen Charim Moche Bhagya Mana Gegurchi Yewan Yamba Mepa Yom Kone Kontu Pelwar Show. Okay, welcome to Yola Damadan Drame Jogi Bala Long Fishing Southern Langi Yonor Resonate Dorji Changi Go Your Show.
Okay, so thank you very much, those online. We've now finished the initiation. I have a few completing prayers to do, but that's about it. So you've now received the full initiation commentary of Yamantaka, and you've now received the proper initiation of Vajra Yogini. Thank you very much for those online participating. Thank you very much for your support and all the things that you offer. And for those guys here, we had a wonderful male choir, a whole room full of dockets. A whole room full of very powerfully wonderful, blissful bodhisattva dockets. Can't get better than that, you know? Unbelievable. Anyway, and for those of you online, thank you much for participating. I have some concluding prayers I have to do, so. Okay, so we're gonna sign off. Big hugs, love you guys lots. Thank you very much for participating. And remember, you have some very good teachers here in England, so please enjoy them. Okay?
Goodbye. Yeah, I mean, maybe.